wow, free. That sounds like a pretty good deal, but not for the people who bought them.
Definitely not for the people who bought them. What's been going on really over the past year is that a growing number of people who are holding on to these timeshares are seeing that the annual payments that they're making, those maintenance fees that they have to pay each year, are rising. They're currently at about $730 a year, and that is significantly higher from where it was just a few years ago. So what they're saying is, well, you know, I can't really afford to make these payments. I'm dealing with other issues like trying to hold on to my home.
Right.
You know, if they're dealing with problems on their primary residence, maybe a job loss, and timeshares just are not feasible anymore for many of these owners. Now they're trying to sell them, and they're finding that a lot of people just aren't really interested in buying. There really isn't so much demand. And what many people are saying at this point is that they are seeing an increase in the number of people who are just trying to give away their timeshares.
Just because they don't want the hassle and they don't want the maintenance fees anymore.
Exactly.
Because the promise of the timeshare, of course, was that you could buy into this building. You wouldn't have to pay for an entire property that you had to maintain yourself. You'd get it 2 weeks out of the year, or you could rent it to somebody, but you pay these maintenance fees. But the problem is you're saying people can't even afford to sometimes take those 2 weeks to get away at all. Is that
so? What's been happening since the recession really is that people can't afford to take vacations. Yeah. There's job loss. They're dealing with bigger financial issues that they have to address before they can even think about that 1 or 2 week timeshare that they have somewhere down in Florida. So what they're saying is that, you know what, it's really not a priority anymore. I could actually save by not having this timeshare, by not having to pay those maintenance fees. But the buyers in the market know this as well. So they're playing hardball. They're saying, well, why do I have to pay, you know, a few $1,000s to you to buy the timeshare from you when in fact the values of these types of properties keep dropping?
So and I'm sure kids don't want to inherit these from their parents either.
No, in fact, speaking with some adults who are looking at having to inherit these from their aging parents, they're saying, you know, we don't even want these. We just want to give them away to anybody who's willing to take them. So increasingly what's happening is that these timeshares are getting sold to anybody who's willing to just take it for free and just take on those maintenance fees.
It sounds like the entire industry is crumbling. I mean, what is the timeshare industry doing to try and sort of staunch the bleeding here for themselves?
Well, what they're saying, what the resorts are saying, is that they are changing the types of people that they're marketing these timeshares to. So in the past, you know, you'd go on vacation and they just say, hey, do you want to come to a timeshare meeting and learn about this? Now what they're saying is they're looking at high income earners, people who won't need financing to get a timeshare, who are more likely to be able to hold on. But it really remains to be seen what will happen. Delinquencies, the number of people behind on their timeshares, is actually rising. Nearly 50% of timeshare owners are now behind on those payments.